Next game up, this is one we're actually excited for. If you've been following the podcast for a long time, you know that we're big fans of Indiana. Because, I don't know, underdog, whatever I don't know. Anyway, we're big fans of Indiana since 2020. This is, of course, Nebraska versus number 16 Indiana at 12 p.m. Indiana having the best start they've had since 2020, only losing that one game to Ohio State really close that year. That was the year with Penix.
He got injured that game.
Yeah, of course, if there was no divisions that year, Indiana would have been probably in the Big Ten championship playing Ohio State again, which is what we all honestly wanted to see. Penix had a really, really good season that year. And anyway, now it's 2024. And best start 6-0 with a lot of people who we've never really heard of.
No big plays, no big names, just solid complimentary football.
Right, which is all you really need to win. Kirby Smart talks about it all the time. So they're actually leading the Big Ten Conference right now, which if you told me that, I would be completely surprised. They're probably tied with Oregon.
They are tied with Oregon.
Yeah, so they're tied with Oregon and Penn State, but still, if you told me at the beginning of the season that Indiana would go into Week 8 undefeated at 6-0 and be 3-0 in the conference, I would have said no way.
Yeah.
So this is a really good team. The ESPN FPI, we have Indiana 70% favored, and the spread is in favor of IU by 5. Isaac is picking Indiana, of course. Nebraska has not really been a bad team this year. They have the one loss to Illinois in overtime, which is a really close game.
And a good team
at home. Yeah, Illinois is a way better team than they were last year. Obviously, they have the one loss to Penn State, but other than that, they've been a pretty good football team. Dylan Raiola, as much as I think he's super creepy, I think he's been playing some really good football. But this one is at the home of the Hoosiers. I think that Dylan Raiola in Nebraska is going to be ready. I don't really know much to say about this game just because, even in Week 8, we still haven't seen these teams. We haven't seen them come to full life yet. So anything can still happen. It's still anybody's conference, especially in the Big Ten. So I am going to pick Indiana in this one, not even to play it safe, just because I love that team, and I really hope that they come out with this one against the Cornhuskers. And
that's totally understandable. For me, I always pulled for Indiana because I always pulled for Michael Penix Jr., who is not there anymore. He's been gone from there for a while now. Now, the thing is, Nebraska, their offense is starting to pick it up. Is it there yet? No, I think it's another year or two before their offense is solidified, but it's working its way up. Meanwhile, Nebraska's defense has been dominant the past 2 years. A loss against Illinois where, again, Illinois is a good team. Now, did I think it was going to be as rough as it was? No. But Illinois is a good team. When it comes down to this game, though, I have to go with what I know. And what I don't know is anything about Indiana this year. I know they're 16th, but who is making them 16th?
Right.
Really, and who have they truly faced? Meanwhile, Nebraska going up against Colorado and Illinois and just showing hey, we're ready to take that next step. It gives me confidence in them. I'm going to choose Nebraska here. I think it's going to be a big win for them on the road. Disappointing for Indiana, I know, but it's what I got confidence in.
Right, and this will be the biggest test for Indiana so far. Nebraska's been tested a couple times this year, but for Indiana, this is going to be a big-time test for them. Can they come up against this really talented Nebraska offense and hold them to, whatever they need to hold them to win? Can the Indiana offense come out against that strong Nebraska defense and say, hey, we deserve to be ranked at 16th or in the top 25, and we're going to keep, playing for the Big Ten? Because Indiana, they got some tough games coming up. They actually have Michigan and Ohio State on their schedule, and they have to go to Ohio State. So I don't know that any team really this year in the Big Ten or in college football is going to make it out alive. I think the only one right now really is Texas, but that looks like they could, because if they beat Georgia, I don't think they take a loss at any point. No. But it's the SEC, it's college football, anything can happen. Yep. But especially in the Big Ten, I think that there's a lot of teams that are not going to come out of this undefeated. So yeah.